If you're watching this video, you're probably more conscientious than most people. And if you watch at least half of this video, you're probably on your way to a pretty good life. I am too, and that's why I'm making this video. Because to be honest, and I know this is going to sound a little arrogant, but I think I have life pretty well figured out. Here's why. And I'll give you some evidence a little bit later on and you can judge for yourself. But I've been studying people for most of my 46 years on this earth. I love to research about them. I love to observe them to try to understand why it is that people do what they do. And my conclusion is that people make choices based on what they think will make them happy. But they don't always know what's going to make them happy. Also, I've concluded that people don't realize that there is a prescription for what you need to do to get to where you want in life, which is, for most of us, again, it's to be happy. There's an exact path that you have to take to get there. There's not a lot of room for variation in there. I know it's a very popular thing to say, I do what makes me happy, or, you do you, or whatever makes him happy. But that's not really how it works. There's some room for individuality because, we're all individuals, and that would make life pretty boring if we couldn't do that. But overall, what's good for you is good for me. What's good for me is good for you. And I think this can be said for a lot of things. And here's some examples. Exercise. In most normal situations, exercise is good for everybody. Being outside in nature, getting some sunlight. In normal situations, that's good for everybody. Reading the Bible, good for everybody. On the other side of that, listening to negative music, watching violent movies, unnecessarily going into debt. Those kinds of things, I think you would agree, are pretty much bad for everybody. Not productive in helping people to get where they really want to go if they really want to be happy. I can make that claim because I know that we are all created by the same God. And we are more alike than we are different. And God's objective in creating us was that we would have joy. And joy is a lot different than fun or happiness. While those things are good, they're fleeting. They're not lasting like joy is. Joy is like a deeper sense of lasting peace of mind, contentment. And happiness and fun can be part of that, but they're not the end game. So here's why I think I have life pretty well figured out. When I was 19, it took me an extra year. I graduated high school, and barely graduated high school at that. My life trajectory was pretty flat. I really wasn't going anywhere. Then I finally got on a path to a good career, and I got married. Been married to the same wonderful woman for 23 years. We have a bunch of kids, and we get to travel. I have a job now that, provides well for us and allows me the time and the freedom to be able to travel the world with my kids, and that's my favorite thing to do. But I didn't get there until I started making joy my destination. Joy is playing the long game. And I think there's probably three different types of people when it comes to joy and understanding what it is. I would say the first one is those who don't really understand what joy is, and they're trying to live a life of happiness, and they're seeking after fun. So they're just kind of wandering around. They don't really have a destination. And so if you don't have a destination, you're not really going to get to where you want to go. But you have to know where you want to go first. Then there are those who are on a good path. People that are doing a lot of things that are going to lead them toward happiness and joy, but they come up to the road and they see where you got to go to get from happiness to joy, and it's not what they expected. The road is more narrow, and there's not a lot of people on that road. So they're not sure if they want to go down that road because it's a different type of commitment. And then there are those who are like myself, who are transitioning into that realm of joy, crossing over the threshold, and they're on that path. And they're not, we don't know everything, and we're not, fully enlightened, somebody might say. So there are days, we have our days, but overall, we know the direction that we're going. We're moving toward joy. And that's why I'm making this video, because when you figure it out, you feel a sense of heaviness, to be honest with you, where you feel like you need to share it with other people. No matter how awkward you feel like you look on camera, like this is awkward for me. This is not something that's fun for me. But like I said, I feel like I figured it out. And so I have a responsibility to help other people along, to share that with other people. And so whatever stage you're in into finding joy, like that's what I'm here for. This is kind of the community that I want to create to help people get there, because it's great. Like I said, I live a really good life. We just moved. We lived in Hawaii for the past almost 7 years. Just moved to Kentucky, bought this house here where we're really comfortable, and life is good. I like my kids, and that's something different than loving your kids. You have to love your kids, but to like your kids and actually want to be around them, that's a good thing. I'm very fortunate to have that, and that's part of what it feels like to have joy. So when you're on that path, that's one of the ways you'll know. You'll feel like you have this responsibility to share it with other people, to help them get there, no matter how awkward it might feel. So that's where I'm at, and that's why I'm making these videos. That's why I started YouTube. And so in the future, I'm going to show a little bit more of my life, my day-to-day life, so you can see what it looks like. And hopefully that will help people, who want more than just happiness. They want to get to that destination of joy. That should be the end game. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have a comment, please leave a comment. I'd love to hear what you have to say about this topic. And I'll be making more like this. So thanks for watching.